Alright, hey guys, what's up? I hope all of you are doing very well. So welcome to my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. In this video, we will study about section 3.1.2, that is basic properties of magnets. Okay, this video is going to be very interesting because some of the terms which we will see today, you already have seen in class 9th and 10th, so not that much difficult for you to understand. Okay, here we will see some terminologies used in magnetism, then we will see some basic properties. Okay, we will see also aurora australis and aurora borealis. Okay, then why does it happen? Okay, and a lot of other phenomena related to magnetism. Okay, so please okay, give your comments whatever you think about this video. Okay, please give your feedback about this video in the comment section. Okay, please subscribe my channel Pratik Singh Classes, like and share and hit the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification. Now let us start our today's video, basic properties of magnets. Alright guys, so let us start our today's video tutorial. Okay, we will start from section 3.1.2, that is basic properties of magnets. Before starting learning about properties of magnet, first we will see some basic terms and other properties which will be useful to describe about bar magnet or any kind of magnet. Okay, fine. The first one is magnetic dipole moment. Okay, what is dipole moment? We already have seen in first unit, but that was in the case of charges. Here we will study in case of magnets. Di means two, as the name suggests that there will be two poles. Okay, and as you can see here in this figure we have something different. Okay, so here this from here to here, this is the actual length of this magnet. Okay, and then as you can see from here to here, okay, okay, this length is lesser than the actual length, and this is not called as actual length, this is called as the magnetic length. Okay, or some other terms are there also, we will see here. Okay, so let's start the theory of the book, but before we begin, let me clear all these things. Okay, so I hope what are the things we have seen in previous class. Okay, you might have remembered that. Okay, electricity and magnetism are correlated. We cannot have magnetism without electricity. Likewise, we cannot have electricity or electrostat theories without magnetism. That is why this name comes, electromagnetism. Okay, fine. So let us see the theory in the book. Okay, so as you can see, this is the north pole of magnet, south pole of magnet, then this O is the center between north and south pole. Okay, then length is here calculated from center towards south or center to north, as you can see here. Okay, L and L, and total length from pole to pole is given as 2L. Okay, but 2L is not the actual length of the magnet. Okay, what is it? It is given here. Let us see step by step. Consider a bar magnet as shown in figure 3.8 as it is given here. Okay, let Qm be the pole strength. It is also called as magnetic charge. Okay, so here Qm is the pole strength of the magnet. Okay, of the magnetic pole. Okay, and L be the distance between the geometric center of bar magnet O and one of the end of the poles. Okay, so here O is the geometric center of the bar magnet and L is calculated from geometric center to any of the pole. Okay, because both are equal, L and L. Okay, all right. The magnetic dipole moment is defined as the product of its pole strength and magnetic length. Okay, so here it is denoted by vector Pm. Okay, why Pm? Because moment is always denoted by vector P and M is a suffix for magnet. Fine, so we can write vector Pm is equal to Qm into vector D. Here vector D is showing here that the direction or the distance is taken with a direction. Okay, so let us see here how to choose the direction. where vector D is the vector drawn from south pole to north pole and its magnitude is equal to 12. Okay, so as you can see here, vector D is not always calculated from south pole to north pole. Okay, so always remember this thing. Okay, then why south to north, why not north to south? It is given later. Okay, the magnitude of magnetic dipole moment is Pm is equal to Qm into 12. So as you can see here, we have Qm into D and D is equal to 12. So we can write Pm is equal to Qm into 2L. So here 2 is taken this position, okay, as in this equation. Okay, and we are talking here about only the magnitude, not the direction. Okay, the SI unit of magnetic moment is ampere meter square. Note that the direction of magnetic moment is always from south pole to north pole. Okay, whatever type is of the magnet is, the direction is always taken from south to north pole for magnetic moment. Okay, now coming to this box, okay, some interesting fact is given here about aurora borealis and aurora australis. Okay, so these phenomenon you have already studied in your previous classes, but here we will study a little bit more. Okay, people living at high latitude regions, okay, near Arctic Circle or Antarctic Circle might have experienced dazzling colored natural light across the night sky. Okay, not only night sky, it happens 24 hours, but in daytime, because of dazzling light of sun, we can't see it. Okay, at night it is calm in the sky and we can see this colorful dancing in the sky. This ethereal display on the sky is known as aurora borealis, okay, at north pole. Okay, that is also northern lights, or aurora australis, okay, at the south pole, okay, or also called as southern lights. These lights are often called as polar lights, okay, because it happens only at the poles. Okay, the lights are seen above the magnetic poles of the northern and southern hemisphere. Okay, they are called aurora borealis in northern and aurora australis in southern part of the earth, or southern and northern regions near the poles. Okay, this occurs as a result of interaction between the gaseous particles in the Earth's atmosphere with highly charged particles released from the sun's atmosphere through solar winds. We know that up to Mars we come under the inner region of solar system. Okay, because up to Mars, okay, the very high energetic currents from the sun comes always. Okay, those energetic currents contains very high energetic charged particles. Okay, when those charged particles comes in contact with the Earth's magnetic field, okay, it creates a dazzling color dancing in a sky, okay, at night. Okay, but it doesn't harm us because of the protective layers of the Earth. These particles emit light due to collision, and variations in color are due to the type of the gaseous particles that take part in the collisions. Okay, means what type of gaseous particles have come in contact to the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, the color depends on that. Okay, as example it is given, pale yellowish green color is produced when ionized oxygen takes part in the collision. Okay, and bluish or purple color comes when, or purple reddish color comes when ionized nitrogen molecules come. Okay, but most of the time we see in the sky yellowish green color because it interacts with the ozone layer first. Okay, we know very well that the ozone layers at the poles are very thin, and also the other layers are very thin at that place, so they come in contact with shower of high energetic particles from the sun, and then they create colors. but they can't penetrate the layers of the earth and can't reach to the ground. Fine. The next topic is magnetic field. Okay, in our previous videos when we were studying about unit 1 and 2, we have seen there about electric field. Okay, the same thing we'll see about magnetic field. Okay, magnetic field is the region or space around every magnet within which its influence can be felt by keeping another magnet in that region. Means up to that region where one magnet can influence another magnet comes under the magnetic field of the first magnet. Okay, outside the magnetic field of any magnet, the influence of it will be negligible or zero. The magnetic field is always denoted by capital B. Okay, don't do this by a small b, and it is a vector quantity as it can be seen. A vector arrow is given there. Okay, at a point it is defined as a force experienced by a bar magnet of unit pole strength. Okay, so we can write here magnetic field of a bar magnet is equal to total force per unit pole strength. Okay, that is vector F by Qm. Okay, as we know very well that the SI unit of force is Newton and the SI unit of pole strength or magnetic pole strength is ampere meter. Okay, so the unit of magnetic field will become Newton per ampere per meter. Okay, or Newton ampere minus 1 meter minus 1. Okay, or you can also say like Newton ampere inverse meter inverse. Then the third topic is types of magnets. Okay, till now we have studied only about bar magnets every time. What really is the meaning of bar magnet? Okay, whether it is a cuboid, cube, or a polar like, or a long spherical cylindrical, what it is really. Fine. Magnets are classified into natural magnets and artificial magnets. Natural magnets are those magnets, as the name suggests, we get from nature. Okay, from the mines. Okay. And artificial magnets are those magnets which we make it in a laboratory under some certain conditions. Okay, why do we need to make magnets artificially? The reason is that sometimes when we need very high magnetic field, okay, that is not possible by the natural magnet. We make a substance through which we can get very high magnetic field, and for that we make artificial magnets. Okay, now here let us see what is the definition given in the book. Okay, iron, cobalt, nickel, etc. are the natural magnets. Okay, only 3 elements in this nature, okay, on this earth are magnetic. Okay, they are iron, cobalt and nickel. Okay, copper is not magnetic. We cannot make copper as a magnet. Okay, fine. Strengths of natural magnets are very weak, and the shapes of the magnet are irregular. Okay, the naturally occurring magnets are irregular in shape and also their strength is weaker. Artificial magnets, on the other hand, made by us in order to have desired shape and desired strength. Okay, means what type of shape we want for a magnet and what strength we want for a magnet for a particular job. If the magnet is in the form of rectangular shape or cylindrical shape, then it is known as bar magnet. As you can see here, this is a figure of bar magnet. This figure also is of bar magnet. Okay, so this is about natural and artificial magnets. Okay, now the next topic is properties of magnets. Okay, now we will study about what are the basic properties of magnets. Till now we have seen 3 terms. Okay, that is, first one was here magnetic dipole moment. Okay, which is denoted by vector Pm. Then we have seen aurora borealis and aurora australis. Okay, then we have seen about magnetic field denoted by capital vector B, and then we have seen about types of magnets. Okay, so these things should always be kept in mind while going through the topic about magnetism. Okay, and please always keep in mind by what symbol we denote what physical phenomenon or what phenomenon in physics. Now, magnetic properties. The following are the properties of bar magnet. So let us see figure 3.9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, totally 5, 6, 7. 7 figures are given here. Let us see one by one what about them. A freely suspended bar magnet will always point along the north-south direction. Okay, since our childhood we have studied that magnets are dipolar, and whatever side of the magnet will be, it will have a north pole and a south pole. Okay, freely suspended bar magnet means we take a bar magnet and tie it from the center and hang it. Okay, so that is called as freely suspended bar magnet. And whenever we will do this, okay, and twist the magnet, it will come to rest always facing north and south direction of earth. Okay, the direction in which the magnet will show north will be in real south pole of magnet, and the direction in which it will show south direction will be in real north pole of the magnet. Okay, because north alike poles repels each other, and alike poles attract each other and like poles repel. Then a magnet attracts another magnet or magnetic substances towards itself. Okay, as given in this figure, if you bring iron filings near a magnet, it will always attract those things. In your childhood you might have played with sand and iron, sand and magnetic bar. When you bring the magnetic bar or magnet around the sand, okay, and you play the magnet in the sand, okay, it sticks some smaller particles. Okay, they are really the iron filings. Okay, the attractive force is maximum near the end of the bar magnet. So as you can see here, okay, let me change the color of the pen for clear visualization. So as you can see here, at this region, okay, and at this region, the amount of iron filings stick to the magnet is very high. Okay, that is why by this observation we can say that magnetic strength is very high at the poles of the magnet. Okay, so this is also a useful and important property of a magnet. Okay, fine. When a bar magnet is dipped into iron filings, they cling to the ends of the magnet because at those positions the magnetic field is very high and magnetic strength also is very high. Okay, next, when a magnet is broken into pieces, each piece behave like a magnet with poles at its ends. Okay, so as you can see here in this figure, when we break the magnet into as much smaller as we want, it will always have south pole and north pole. Okay, and it is not possible to have a magnet which is monopolar. Then two poles of the magnet have pole strength equal to one another. Okay, that means pole strength of south pole will always be equal to pole strength of north pole. If it will not happen, there will happen some imbalance in the strength and the matter itself will break. Fine. The length of bar magnet is called geometrical length, and the length between two magnetic pole in a bar magnet is called magnetic length. So, okay, so geometrical length and magnetic length, as in the first figure which I have said you. Okay, let us come to the first figure here. Okay, as when I have started teaching you this, so we have here two things from this end to this end, geometrical length, okay, and from pole to pole, magnetic length. Okay, it is, as you can see from the figure, magnetic length will always be smaller than the geometrical length. Alright, very good, you understood this. Fine. If you find out the ratio between the magnetic length and geometrical length, it will come as 0.833. It always happens. Okay, fine. So this is the ratio between magnetic length and geometrical length. Okay, so here is an example 3.2. Let us see what is given here. This is very interesting. Okay, let the magnetic moment of a bar magnet is a vector Pm whose magnetic length is given as 2L, that is D is equal to 2L, and pole strength is Qm. Calculate the magnetic moment of bar magnet when it is cut into two pieces along its length and perpendicular to the length. Okay, so along its length means if this is the bar magnet and we cut like this. Okay, so what will happen here is we will get two magnets, okay, whose length will be same. Okay, thickness will change, breadth will change, but length will be same, and perpendicular to its length means we have a bar magnet and we cut like this way. So here length will become half. Okay, so here we have to find out what to find magnetic moment. Okay, along when it was cut along the length and perpendicular to its length. First one, as given here, when the bar magnet is cut along the axis into two pieces, new magnetic pole strength will be half than the original one, that is Q dash M is equal to Qm by 2, but its magnetic length doesn't change, so we will have new magnet P dash M is equal to Q dash M into 2L. Okay, or P dash M is equal to Qm by 2 into 2L, because at the place of Q dash M we can write Qm by 2, that is equal to half of the previous one. Okay, so new magnetic moment is equal to half of the original. Okay, and in vector notation we can write vector P dash M is equal to half of vector Pm. When it was cut into two pieces perpendicular to the axis, okay, it will become like this, two smaller magnets. Okay, when the bar magnet is cut perpendicular to the axis into two pieces, magnetic pole strength will not change. Okay, because its length remains the same, but magnetic length will be half. Okay, sorry. So the magnetic moment is given by P dash M is equal to Qm, okay, into half of its length. Okay, magnetic length. Okay, that is in vector notation we will have vector P dash M is equal to half of Pm. Okay, so can you imagine here we have got half of vector Pm, and here also we have got half of vector Pm. So whether whatever way you cut the magnet, you will get same magnetic moment. Okay, so this is all about the magnetic properties. So today we have learned some terminologies related to magnetism and its basic properties. Okay, in next video we will study about magnetic field lines. Okay, earlier in previous chapters we have seen about electric field lines. Okay, in this chapter we will see field lines with regard to magnets. So till my next video, take care of yourself, and also I request to all of you that whatever doubts you have, please ask in the comment section below of this video. Okay, I will try to answer all of your questions. Okay, comment sessions are live now. Okay, and the best question asked by you will get a goodie. Fine. So till next video of mine, take care of yourself. Bye bye.